Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Brazos Valley, or Brazos UU for short. My name is Katie Womack, and I am serving as your worship assistant today. I come to this church because being a Unitarian means being humanitarian, and that resonates with me. We are a welcoming congregation, which means we celebrate and welcome all people of diverse sexual orientations and gender identities. We also strive to welcome people across diversities of race, age, ability, immigration status, and belief. So, whoever you are, wherever you have come from, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. We encourage everyone to visit our website, brazos-uu.org. During this time of pandemic and in the midst of our planned building project, the website and our weekly services are our church home. If you might like to contribute your musical talents, if you have a great story to share about your life's journey, or if you have a passion for social justice, we would love to hear from you. If you're interested in getting involved, you can find opportunities on our website. To learn more about our community and what is happening, you can join our email list and our monthly newsletter. And you can also find us on social media by searching UUCBV.
Good morning. Our service today is a celebration of mothers, all mothers, and the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We'll begin with a poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay. The courage that my mother had. The courage that my mother had went with her and is with her still. Rock from New England quarried, now granite in a granite hill. The golden brooch my mother wore, she left behind for me to wear. I have no thing I treasure more, yet it is something I could spare. Oh, if instead she'd left to me the thing she took into the grave, that courage like a rock, which she has no more need of, and I have.
I invite you to light your own chalice, if you have one, as I light our chalice today. Please say our chalice lighting words with me. We light the chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, as a beacon of hope for all who seek justice, dignity, and compassion, and in celebration of the life of truth and meaning we share together. Now please join me in saying our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Often we hear the complaint that a holiday has moved far from its original meaning and become over-commercialized. Certainly, Christmas and Memorial Day come to mind. It might therefore come as no surprise that Mother's Day also falls into that category. Historically, celebrations and festivals honoring mothers and mothering date back to ancient times in different places around the world. But the idea of a Mother's Day in the US was first actively promoted in the years following the Civil War by Julia Ward Howe. Howe was a Unitarian feminist, pacifist, and women's suffragist leader, probably most famous for writing the words to the Battle Hymn of the Republic. She believed that women had a responsibility to exert political influence by uniting for world peace. In 1870, Howe wrote the Mother's Day Proclamation and worked for many years with her colleague Anne Reeves Jarvis toward popularizing the holiday. Unfortunately, the movement never took off the way Howe and Jarvis had hoped. Anne's daughter, Anna, was especially close to her mother, who had endured so much, including the loss of 7 of her 11 children in their early years. She was inspired by Anne's devotion to the cause of a National Mother's Day, and after Anne died in 1905, Anna Jarvis took up the cause, though she changed the emphasis of the holiday to honoring mothers for their service. The idea caught on, and in May 1914, Congress declared the second Sunday in May to be Mother's Day. By 1934, President Franklin D. Roosevelt even issued a postage stamp for the occasion. Over the years, Anna Jarvis became disappointed by what the holiday she fought so hard for had become. For example, florists jacked up prices of white carnations, a symbol of Mother's Day at the time, and there were other instances of commercialization by candy and car manufacturers. Perhaps now it is time to ponder the words of the original Mother's Day Proclamation by Julia Ward Howe.
Arise then, women of this day. Arise, all women who have hearts, whether your baptism be that of water or of fears. Say firmly, we will not have great questions decided by irrelevant agencies. Our husbands shall not come to us, reeking with carnage for caresses and applause. Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We women of one country will be too tender of those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own. It says, disarm, disarm. The sword of murder is not the balance of justice. Blood does not wipe out dishonor, nor violence indicate possession. As men have often forsaken the plow and the anvil at the summons of war, let women now leave all that may be left of home for a great and earnest day of council. Let them meet first as women to bewail and commemorate the dead. Let them then solemnly take counsel with each other as the means whereby the great human family can live in peace, and each bearing after her own time the sacred impress, not of Caesar, but of God.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow in my soul. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul.
Each week we take a time in our worship to share those joys and concerns, sorrows and milestones most on our hearts and minds. We know that across the world and in our own households, there are so many things going on, things that need our support, things that require our celebration, things we must remember, and things we want to shout out into a world that needs to hear it. So please, if you have something to share, you may do so now in the chat box so that all of us can share with you. We lift up a few things that all of us have in common. For all of those affected by the coronavirus, both nearby and all over the world, we pray this day. We think particularly of the people of India, where a wave of coronavirus infections is threatening to upend the medical system there and leave millions of people dying or in terrible situations. Here in our own country, we lift up the reality that not all lives matter equally yet, and so we proclaim loudly that Black lives must matter, that our justice system, that our government, that our economy, that everything must acknowledge that truth so that all of us can live lives of freedom, of opportunity, of love and compassion. We know that there are many other things going on in our world. Please continue to share in the chat box so that all of us might hold them together. And for those things that go unspoken or unwritten, know that they too are held by all of us in this community. Amen.
Take a moment now to relax and close your eyes and drift into your breath, just listening to the sounds of your breath and the beating of your heart. And as we enjoy this moment of silence, take a moment to think about your mother. Whether she be alive or not with us any longer, think about one word that would describe her. Just one word. If you could sum her up into just one word, what would it be? If you feel encouraged to do so, please put that word into the chat box now. And open your eyes and see what others have written.
I grew up listening to my mother sing songs that her mother taught her, and they were songs about a country that I have never seen, but a country in which she was born. That country is China. This poem is called I Ask My Mother to Sing. She begins, and my grandmother joins her. Mother and daughter sing like young girls. If my father were alive, he would play his accordion and sway like a boat. I've never been in Peking or the Summer Palace, nor stood on the great stone boat to watch the rain begin on Kunming Lake, the picnickers running away in the grass. But I love to hear it sung, how the water lilies fill with rain until they overturn, spilling water into water, then rock back and fill with more. Both women have begun to cry, but neither stops her song.
The Persistence of Scent by Cindy Williams Gutierrez. Mother, you will persist in fragrances. The nectar scent of carrots, pineapple, pecans, baking in a 2-layer cake. I will shorten my mornings into hours of praise. More than alchemy, fresh cilantro and pungent handfuls will be sautéed with garlic, onions, tomatoes, and like magic, beans will turn into savories in my ordinary kitchen.
And the aroma of lilies will not be resisted. I will plant tigers, stars, Easters, cannas, callas. The rain on your talcum will conjure you, your skin this satiny scent, here on the porch swing just after a bath. I will sprinkle lily petals on my pond, Dip my hand in this holy water, rub your silk into my fingers.
But it is the tang of the sea that will return your salt to soothe my wound. Here in this watery womb of the earth, this place you love only from a distance, since you never learned to swim. Here, I will stop holding my breath. Inhale the sting.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. If that mockingbird won't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. If that diamond ring turns brass, Mama's gonna buy you a looking glass. If that looking glass gets broke, Mama's gonna buy you a billy goat. If that billy goat won't pull, Mama's gonna buy you a cart and bull. If that cart and bull turn over, Mama's gonna buy you a dog named Rover. If that dog named Rover won't bark, Mama's gonna buy you a horse and cart. If that horse and cart fall down, you'll still be the sweetest baby in town.
If we were having worship service in person, this is the time when we would pass the basket. This church shares the proceeds of the offering plate donation every week to support important nonprofit organizations with which we work. This month, we will be splitting the plate with the Brazos Valley African American Museum. We support the mission of the Brazos Valley African American Museum, which is to explore, develop, preserve, and present the cultural history and heritage of African Americans. We hope to increase our connections with Bryan organizations with which we work. If you wish to make an offering, you can mail your check, or for your convenience, you can donate online. On our homepage at brazos-uu.org, you can find our mailing address at the bottom, and at the top, you will see a Donate Here link. In the chat box, you will see that link now. May each of us look into our hearts. How much love, how much generosity, how much faith, how much gratitude, how much hope is there? We give thanks for these gifts we have given, for those we receive, and for each other.
One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us and everyone. We'll take one more step. One more word, we will say one more word, till every word is heard by everyone. we'll say one more word. One more prayer, we will say one more prayer, till every prayer is shared by everyone. We'll say one more prayer. One more song, we will sing one more song, till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song.
Now please join me in extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we gather together again. Thank you.